Once upon a time there was a man. We shall call him Julius for the sake of his story. He was a well-renowned blacksmith. He created works of art with the intricacies of his mind. One of his clients was a wealthy man with desires only for decor. Swords to be hung on the wall, shields to only hold shine, and even silverware to collect dust and glass hutches. This rich man came forth with requests to have a frame for a mirror made for his daughter. Julius took his demand and created a wonderfully beautiful frame. He came to the man's home for delivery. This is where he met her. The daughter he had assumed was a child was in fact his age, and her name was Beatrice. They spoke at first of business, where to put the frame, how much was owed, but the conversation quickly changed. The two began asking questions of one another, simply cute and amusing at first, but in time it evolved into secret meetings with one another. The meadow was the target of their favorite scenery. The coming months were filled with giggles and sweet words. Nicknames grew in their conversations with one another. Lee and B were the outcome. Time passed, and Julius's love became strong. He decided one day to propose to his love. He picked flowers from the meadow they had met in for years. There he stayed by the bench, waiting for his love to come. But she never did. He waited there all day, and finally the sun fell into dusk. A drunk passerby stumbled their way to Julius. "My, oh my, isn't it such a lovely day? What a lovely day!" Julius kept his mouth shut from the stranger and kept his gaze on the walkway for Beatrice to come. "That woman you're always with is married today. Why were you not at the celebration?" Julius turned and looked at the man. "No, not my Beatrice. She's to meet me here." Again, the man went forward in conversation as if Julius did not reply. "What a sad bride. She shan't be sad long, though. She's rich. Aha!" The man began moving forward with his parade that was designated solely for himself. Julius was left alone with his thoughts. He felt betrayed. Why had his love not told him? Did she even love him back? He felt his chest rumble and pain erupted. His heart began to break apart, and the pieces shot themselves across the way. His eyes tried to follow the pieces. He knew he had to go search for them. But to no avail, the first 24 hours passed as quickly as his heart scattered. Once the clock hit the 24th hour, a part of Julius burst into fragments. This is what his life was to become if he did not complete his quest. He continued his search. The second day passed, and then the third started coming to an end. A snowstorm found its way into the town. The meadow where he once enjoyed was covered in snow and ice. He walked over the valley, his hopes close to none. In his last moments of existence, he looked up at the sky and saw the beauty of the sunset one final time. He looked down into the reflection of the ice and met his own eyes. Immediately, he crumbled into the ice. Julius awoke in a strange, dark home. His body whole again, but his chest still empty. The home was covered in arches and frames. He walked up to one and expected to see himself, but rather a stranger was looking back at him. Julius tried to back away, but he was forced to do as the stranger did, follow his movements and actions until the person walked out of sight. He continued this process for the other frames, all strangers, all doing their own actions, and all he had to mimic. Consciousness settled in. He was a slave to reflection. A year passed and he found a frame that looked awfully familiar. He looked through and found a family. No, not just any family, but his Beatrice, with a child and a man looming over her shoulder. Grief struck Julius again as he was coming to accept his home. He came to watch the other side of this particular mirror often. He watched the child grow into a boy, and meanwhile, Julius's grief grew into anger. The boy on the other side started to wear the same drapery as the man that loomed in the background of every scene, and the features of his face began to look more and more like Beatrice. Julius had had enough. He slammed his hand into the center of the frame, and surprisingly his hand fell through. He grabbed the boy's arm and dragged him in. The boy was notably terrified. Where am I? What's going on? Julius took no note of the words spilling from the boy's mouth. You are the reason why I'm here. His anger was misguided and cruel. The child looked up to him in fear. Please, I'm scared. Julius started again. You have caused chaos and deserve to rot as I have for so long. He stepped backward into the frame, keeping his eye on the child, the darkness beginning to take hold of the innocence. When Julius came to, he was in the world he was originated. He giddily looked around the room and found the sunset there greeting him just as it had bid him farewell the last time. He turned again and there was his Bee, the Beatrice he came to love. She was not as pleased to see him. She stormed past him and looked into the mirror. What have you done? Where is my boy? My Theodore, are you there? Her eyes only met her own in reflection. Julius quizzically looked at her. I needed a trait to escape. I did this for us, for you. That child was just a pawn. Now we can be happy. His excitement was met by disgust. Beatrice replied, Theodore was the only thing I had left of you. I thought you died. Julius began to realize. What? She continued. Please, bring back our son, bring back my boy. Worry encompassed her once pure gaze. Julius was shocked. She was married off because she was with child. The pieces struck harder than the ice he fell into all those years ago. She did love him. But not right now. He walked to the mirror and placed his palms on the glass. He closed his eyes and pushed forward, ready to return to the world he hated with all his might. A crack erupted from beneath his hands, and warm liquid dripped from them. He looked up and only saw himself in multiple pieces. The mirror had broken. In desperation, he then moved to the bathroom and tried again, hitting the mirror with his palms as he had done so on the other side. But to no avail. The glass broke again. He felt heartache, but this time there was no heart to prevent his fate. The emptiness where his heart once was collapsed. Julius felt shards of glass rip from beneath his skin, and he turned into a monster. The creature burst through the window, but it did not face Beatrice. She stood by the mirror, repeating sweet nothings into her reflection. People began calling her vain. What a strange woman to stare at herself for so long. In public, they would even overhear her telling children's stories to her pocket mirror. Or if she caught her gaze in a window or a cup of tea, she would wave. This is the story of how there was a slave of reflection. So the next time you look in the mirror, be sure to say hello.